The Star-Spangled Banner. The Star-Spangled Banner. Yeah, you guessed it. America's National Anthem. Tough one to play, because as you can see, it hits some pretty high notes. And they require tight lips and fast air on the mouthpiece. And whereas the low ones, like oh say, they require loose lips and slow air speed. So you're always kind of challenged playing that one because, excuse me, sometimes you have to change from that kind of embouchure or lip approach and you know, aperture, which is the opening, little hole you open up in your mouth when you've got your mouth on the mouthpiece. You don't see it when the trumpeter is playing it, but right in the dead center there, the trumpeter opens a hole in his mouth, and just like whistling. And so that's kind of tricky, I think, with a song like Star-Spangled Banner, because there's such sometimes radical swings from slow air, loose lips to fast air, tight lips. And I find for myself, and I think a lot of trumpeters do, that your lips don't always, you know, they're not always awake and alert to that, like shifting gears that radically. But they get like that, you know, they get trained. And so that's why I like the Star-Spangled Banner. I know it by heart, of course, like so many of my fellow Canadians, I guess, because you often hear it, just watch a New York Yankees game, and it's, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the National Anthem, and they go, do say, can you see? And it's interesting, too, a lot of people flub it when they sing it, even in those major venues like Super Bowl and so forth, which is understandable, because again, it's not that nuanced, but it's like you're going to shift gears pretty quick. Like, for the land of the free, that's the highest note in that song. And, you know, I believe that's a high G, is it? Or could be a high F, I'm not sure. It's played with one valve to breast, like first valve to breast. And that's the beauty of the trumpet. You can, you know, we can have all valves open and get four notes. You know, the first three we call a triad, and you go from low C to da 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 da, and so forth, just by varying your lip speed or your air speed and your lip tension. So the trumpet is a fairly physical instrument. You've got to get your body onto it almost, if you know what I'm saying, or wrap your body around it. That is with the lips and your tummy and your diaphragm and your breathing, and I guess that's about it. And your jaws. You know, really, a lot of that in the tutorials. Like, yeah, I was trying to get my chops trained to do the higher register notes, or the upper register notes. You see some of the bloggers say these were chops, and tonguing is part of it too. Like the way you use your tongue, you pull it back a bit, or you put it to the roof of your mouth. You can read all that and it's out there. It's like, oh, if you want to hit these higher register notes, put your tongue like this and la la la. Well, that's all what you might call an abstract way of learning. It's theoretical. It's book learning. It's better just to get your mouth on that trumpet mouthpiece and just start working at it. And eventually, it will come to you. You know, your body discovers it. And one of the sayings is that you learn the trumpet your whole life. And it's very hard to perfect your note. And even some of the greatest virtuosos, like the modern era trumpeters like Wynton Marsalis, will spend sometimes 20 minutes just practicing one note to get his tone just right. Because it's hard to get perfect tone on a trumpet. It's not like a piano where, as long as your piano strings are tuned well, that's going to be very predictable each time. Not with the trumpet, though. And you'll hear some of the greatest, like some of the greats, like Miles Davis or Wynton Marsalis, and some of their notes will sound a little wet. Well, you can't stop after playing every note and blow your spit valves. So that's going to happen. Well, the show must go on. And sometimes you'll hear the lips, you'll hear that though, like in the trumpet, like sometimes when I do Land of the Free, Land of the Free, did you hear that last part? It's my lips are vibrating. But that's, I figure if the pros do it, how am I going to avoid doing it? You don't want to obsess over those things. And a bit about the song, Star Spangled Banner. As I understand, it was an Irish drinking song, at least the melody is. Da 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 da. And the lyrics were written by an American POW, a revolutionary soldier fighting on the side of the Americans in the American War of Independence. And he got taken prisoner by the British and put inside a British man-of-war ship down in the hold. I don't know, Boston Harbor, Chesapeake Bay. And he was pretty despondent and despairing, not so much for himself, but for this new nascent nation. Would it survive? Would it endure? Would life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, long endure? Would it survive? What's the other one? All men are created equal. Would that survive? Well, it did, fortunately. So the song obviously had a lot of inspiration with people. And the song, the nation endures to this day, and so does the song, the Star Spangled Banner, as America's national anthem. This, a little bit about this trumpet of mine. It's a Caravel. I got it used at Mike's Pawn in the 300 block Main Street, Penticton. Mike's Pawn, no relation to me, Mike Miller. It's a great place. If you're ever in Penticton, go in there and look around. Really big pawn shop. It's an old nightclub that they occupied it and made it into a pawn shop. And I got this trumpet for $105, tax included, so I was pretty happy, and it worked well for me. But you always got to make sure you're always regularly oiling your trumpet valves, whether it's a brand new Yamaha or my used Caravel. And I don't know the vintage. I thought of running the serial numbers to see just when it might have been made, but I'll save that for another time. But so the tutorials on the internet or YouTube say you should oil your valves twice a week, and you do that by unscrewing these, and they slide up a bit, and you oil them, you slide them down, work them around a bit, they get nicely lubricated. And it's important because, like for me, my indicator is this third valve. He sticks first before the rest do, to tell me that the whole instrument needs to be oiled now. And that's kind of hard, like if you're playing a D and you've got first and third valve depressed, and then you want to do an F, and you let go of the third one, and you just keep the first one depressed. Well, if the valve is sticky, it doesn't snap up that quick. It goes, and then that blows your F note, unfortunately. But they say it's a poor musician that blames his instrument. So I won't do that. Anyways, gang, thank you for watching this video. Bye for now.